In a world where most people watch movies and then forget about them, these brave heroes join forces to watch them again and then talk about them. Join them in their epic journey as they go back in time, a decade and beyond, to revisit and break down films from a vast array of genres. Do these movies hold up over time? Are they classics? Find out on Retro Movie Roundtable. Starring your hosts, Bryan Frye, Chad Robinson, Dustin Melbartis, Lizzie Haynes, and Russell Guest. Coming now to headphones in your ears.
Welcome, all you lords, ladies, and knights, to the Retro Movie Roundtable. Welcome to the show where we watch movies and then talk about them. I'm your host, Russell Guest, from the Steel City of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And joining me today are two of my good friends and co-hosts from the Lilac City in Spokane, Washington, Mr. Bryan Frye. How you doing, sir?
Hey, good evening, folks. I'm assuming it's evening for most, but I guess you could be listening to this in the morning. So hello, and hello.
Yeah, a lot of people like to have their morning commutes listening to you, Bryan. And coming to you from across the Steel City of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, Mr. Chad Robinson. How you doing, sir?
Been told I have a sleepy voice, so people probably listen to me when they want to go to sleep.
Yeah, that's like your sleep therapy, kind of like what do they call it? The ASM,
ASMR?
Yeah, ASMR. Thank you.
The definition of white noise. Yeah.
I don't think therapy noises to put you to sleep sees color, Chad. So, I
learned there's pink noise. I don't
know
the difference.
There is. I always loved the SNL sketch where Kenan Thompson had an ad for Saturday Night Live and there was white noise. And like, it was just, noises like you would think of as white noise machines. But then Kenan would turn it to black noise mode and it would sound like train tracks roaring by in a city, like, trash cans being knocked over, people yelling at each other, gunshots and stuff were going off in the background. He was sleeping like a baby with a smile on his face. And so it's like when white noise doesn't give you the frame of mind that you need to sleep at night, the comforts that there's black noise. So anyway, let's get into this here. We are going on a trip. And actually, I want to know, if we're going to plan a EuroTrip together, I want to know, what European city are you putting on the trip itinerary, Bryan?
Stockholm is amazing. It is by far my favorite continental European city. Otherwise, I would probably go very heavily. I don't want to go Dublin, but probably some subsidiary of smaller cities in Ireland.
Oh.
But Stockholm is amazing. It is so much fun as an archipelago. The taking the boats around, the churches are amazing. I was actually like really vibing some of Jamie's piece in this movie, like while we were in Stockholm. Like, hey, let's go see this church, and Jess is like, "Oh, or we couldn't."
Well, I wrote down, I'm predicting Frye's going to say Switzerland to go skiing, but
I haven't been. I've literally never skied in Europe, and I've been to Europe so many times for very specific engagements, and none of them have been skiing. And it's been a like, are you messing with me right now? Like, can I not? Like, I want to.
Well, let's see if I get my next guess right. Chad, if we're going on a Euro trip together, what city are you putting on the itinerary?
Oh, together? No. I've been to New York City with you, Russell, and that was Architecture 101 and 102 and 103 and 104, and it just kept going. But I would probably go somewhere in Greece just to check out the ancient sites, see some of ancient history that I love.
I went for two. I guess you were going to say Rome, Chad.
You know what? That comes up a lot. Rome makes me sad because Rome there's much more modernized things due to, the Catholic Church's presence and the papacy. And so while some of the sites have been preserved, it's not as well preserved as Greece.
Okay. All right. So there you have it from a historian view. And I would typically say Berlin and Germany. I have been there and I've done Paris.
Berlin is awesome.
So if I were to selfishly put something on there that I haven't done, I would do Spain and I would want to do Barcelona. So
It's a trap. I'll tell you right away. Jess and I had the opportunity to go to Barcelona this fall. We got completely mired in travel advisories. Apparently, they carry around like super soakers and stuff to squirt tourists. They are not happy with tourism anymore.
Sign me up for that, please.
Yeah, they don't want any part of you being there. And we were supposed to go for Jess's annual European talk at Ekstrom's, and literally everyone's like, "Look, you're not going to have a good time. They're going to single you out as Americans. They're going to squirt you. They're going to go after you." And I was like, "Well, I don't want to do that." And she was like, "I don't want to do that either." So we didn't go. And so if their goal is really cutting out tourism, it's working.
My brother-in-law went there. And he got pickpocketed, and there's someone stole his camera. He ran the camera back and got his expensive camera back. So
was a Leica 7.
I don't know the model, but it was enough to be worth. If someone takes something from you like that, you never know what they're going to do to you if you catch up to them. So technically, running them down, not real smart necessarily, but he got his camera back. So apparently, he was angry enough, intimidating enough, and larger than the guy enough that it worked out.
Merca.
Yeah, Merca. So no, but I mean Madrid, Porto, Valencia, anywhere in Spain. Doesn't have to be Barcelona. So I don't know if that's making this better or worse, Brian, but there's a lot of things I'd like to cash up and do in Spain. But if I had to say, like, circle one, Berlin. Love Germany. It's outstanding. So
I haven't been to Europe since most of our general political unpleasantness right now. So please understand this is coming from a vacuum of prior to what we're doing right now.
That's why you claim you're Canadian when you're traveling.
there you go.
Well, I will say this. Overall, in my experience, the further north you go in Europe, the better your experience is going to be.
Okay. All right.
So
Russell was inspired by a small child to visit Germany in this movie.
Sweden was awesome. Berlin was awesome. Ireland was awesome. Paris was, and then I was in Milan. I was in Milan right before the Olympics, and again, this is just my experience. I'm not trying to dissuade anybody from visiting, but the entire town smelled of urine.
You have given me new life aspirations, though. Like, I am going to work on my Spanish, bone it up, and I'm going to apply to just spray tourists with super soakers. That is a dream job. I will pay them.
Chad's taking his get off my lawn attitude to the next level. He's going international with it now.
Sign me up, please.
All right. Well, what's the last movie you saw, Brian?
The last movie I watched, it was more of a movie-mentary, but it was about the Somme. So it was a World War I documentary / dramatized piece about the Battle of the Somme in World War I.
Happy stuff as always, Brian.
That sounds very on brand for you. And what about you, Chad? What did you see last?
I guess it's on brand for me too. I watched Mortal Kombat 2. It is leagues better than the first one that they put out, 2-3 years ago, something like that.
Oh,
so yes, also the one from 1995. I watched that with my daughter, and she had a good time. She enjoyed it. But yeah, Mortal Kombat 2, highly recommend it.
I remember the first one being pleasing, and the second one, for some reason, disappointing to me.
It's terrible. They lost a ton of the cast.
Mm-hmm.
It's low budget cheese, and not even in a good way. The first one from 95, I still love that.
Yeah, I think it was meant to have some cheese, but yeah.
100%.
I remember being excited for Reptile and not pleased with what we got.
Yeah, the CGI lizard, yeah.
I really remember that not hitting with me, because Reptile is one of my favorite characters. So anyway, then the last movie that I saw, talking about disappointments, Supergirl from 1984. We got a new Supergirl movie coming out. And so I went back and watched on HBO Max before it gets shuffled and turned into Paramount at some point. So I'm hitting HBO Max as hard as I can. We watched Supergirl from 1984. Grant turned it off in the middle a little while ago, but I don't quit on movies, as you may know about me. And so I came back and I saw it through, and it didn't get better. So it's not good. It's the first scene is actually interesting. The set design is really cool, and you're sitting there like, hey, this movie is okay, and it goes downhill quickly after that. So rough villain, lots of rough stuff. They were cashing in off the Christopher Reeve Superman brand at that point. This did not work. But I did find out that the mom from Supergirl in the CW show is Supergirl from the 1984 movie. So that's fun.
Very nice.
All right. Well, Brian, what movie were we covering today?
We are doing the wonderful comedy from the early 2000s known as EuroTrip.
And I'm going to take this as a moment to point out this is a dealer's choice from Brian. You have brought this to the table for us, so I'm looking forward to this. Stars Scott Mechlowicz, Jacob Pitts, Michelle Trachtenberg, Travis Wester. Released in the year 2004, budgeted for $25 million. Grosses $17.7 million domestically, coming in a little under what it was made for there. It grosses globally $22.6 million and probably makes it back with DVD sales, TV and deals and all that good stuff. Placed in the box office at 110th, coming in behind The Laws of Attraction and ahead of My Baby's Daddy. The number one movie that year is Shrek 2, and IMDb gives EuroTrip a 6.6. Critics of Rotten Tomatoes did not like this movie. This is a 47%, and the audience score likes it considerably better at 75%. It is an award winner. It was nominated for Best Cameo at the MTV Movie Awards for Matt Damon. And it is a Teen Choice Award nominee for Choice Movie for movies your parents didn't want you to see. So
that's justifiable, yeah.
I've got a really great story about that part too.
Well, without any further ado, and excuse me, Brian, why don't you start us off here? You brought this one to us. You had seen this one before, we know. Give us some background with it for you.
So I don't remember what instigated it, but I saw a preview or something for this where I was like, okay, Jess, we really, really need to see this. And I don't know if it was without telling me or maybe that I just let my guard down or whatever, but she was like, okay, my parents are coming too. So we saw this in theaters on release day with her parents. And they thought it was hysterical too. So it was a saving grace piece. But I mean, it like I have watched more awkward films with my spouse's family than anybody else. Like things where I'm like, well, we shouldn't be doing this right now, but I guess it's going to happen. This movie, Unfaithful, just like I've hit so, I mean, we've been together for almost 24 years. So, I mean, you're going to hit some landmines. Man, my film landmines with her family are huge. I mean, we're talking pothole huge. We're talking big baby, like World War I cannon huge. Like we're creating divots in the sand. It is.
Hey, I hear blue is the warmest color. Is a really good movie.
At least I got to give her. At least I got to give her like a heads up. I was like, "Hey, I'm going to be watching some stuff that you're going to walk in and be like," because she will only walk in during said time. I mean, there's no way around it.
Well, that's a solid 20 minutes. So
yeah. So at least I got to give like some heads up. I've walked into, I'm talking blind, walked into landmines with her family, and it's only by the grace that they thought the comedy was the comedy and enjoyed some of it. So this is a great movie. I really thought I would find this on lists of comedies that have gone unsung through the annals of history. And it drives me nuts that it's not, because I still talk to people and they're like, I've never seen that before. And I'm like, this is insane. This movie's hilarious. I don't know why more people didn't see it. And my big piece on it was, okay, well, maybe it fell into the fatigue of the trip vacation tag. And it has nothing to do with any of those movies. And it's irritating to me because I'm like, yeah, I understand that they followed in sync with how those movies tag themselves, but this is a very different film.
So you've been watching it over the years and you've come back to it. Rewatch value is important to you. Tell us how this is, you got this when you were probably in college. And what's it like coming back to it today and over the years?
Still funny. I actually, and I was trying to dodge around using this for any of our superlatives. Um, the credits going into the movie and the credits going out of the movie are gold.
Yeah.
It is some of the funniest, you want to talk about value added in a film where you need nothing but just animators having fun. The credits of all of this is great. It's fantastic. And I'm not even talking about the bloopers. Like, the bloopers piece is great, but if you just go with the the reading the flight attendant guidebook piece and the intro, it's hysterical.
It is good, and it gets you into it right away, and with that for sure. But so this has been a hit for you. You enjoy sharing this and recommending this with others. I'm going to go to you, Chad. Had you seen this one before?
So yeah, I'd seen this movie. This is something that I associate with Bryan Frye. Like, this was a movie that he championed along with Out Cold. Out Cold was another one that I watched in college with Frye. This one, I can remember his lousy Sunnyside hovel. We watched this and played X-Men Legends, so it was a good night. But
that's good.
I grew up watching Michelle Trachtenberg. Somehow I missed this movie, but I've always been a fan of hers. I think she's really funny. I rewatched this last year in her honor as she sadly passed away. And so that was the first thing I did. I was like, okay, I'm going to go watch EuroTrip. Loved it then. I think it's aged pretty well. I showed it to my wife last night. She had never seen it, but she enjoys like the waiting and Accepted in those types of comedies. It's a little bit different, but she was still laughing pretty hard at most of it.
Yeah, this one doesn't go as into the romantic formula, I don't think, as maybe I know Sarah and her personalities might like, but I'm glad to hear that she did enjoy it with you still.
Yeah, she likes a good kind of college raunchy type comedy. I mean, Wedding Crashers is right up there with her.
Oh, I love that movie. Yeah. No, that's a good point. This was a good time period for those things.
Mm-hmm.
This was the first time for me watching it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Bryan had mentioned it over the years of had you seen EuroTrip
several times.
Definitely.
Well, no, this is it's truly one of those movies that like I'll like fine tooth comb people. I'm like, oh, you've watched this, right? And I was like, oh, yeah, but okay, all right, that's gonna be a thing. Mm-hmm. But it fell into the purview of what I really like putting up for the podcast because, again, I kind of trolled a lot of lists expecting to see this as an unsung comedy for the ages, frankly, and didn't appear on any of them. I'm like, did you think everybody saw it? Do you think it sucks? Like, I don't get it.
I can't believe you found a comedy Russell hasn't watched.
Well, and again, it's such a funny movie, and it blends traditional comedy with kind of darker comedy, which is what I prefer. Mm-hmm. And I just felt like this was a really, like, more people should talk about this. And I will say, especially recently, I've seen more people bring up EuroTrip on social media, people our age, with the same indignation that I have that this doesn't get more credit for how amazing it was. And I'm like, okay, well, it's a good time to bring it up for the podcast.
Well, I'm glad you put it in front of me. Certainly, you've been recommending it to me probably for 20 years. And I did enjoy it for sure. So I had a blast with this one. I wish I'd gotten to it sooner. I don't always get recommendations. I have a long list of recommendations. I don't get to them that quickly. So, and I'll get into some reasons why maybe people didn't get to it and my theory for that later. But we are going to have spoilers that lie ahead. This is a great movie that you're going to want to enjoy yourself, so you don't want to have spoilers on this one. So if you haven't seen EuroTrip, you're probably going to want to watch it. We'll be back after these messages.
Welcome to the All 80s Movies Podcast.
I'm Bill.
And I'm Jason. And this is the podcast where we talk about the blockbusters, the flops, and everything in between from one of the freshest decades for movies, the 1980s. So whether you're a brain, a jock, a valley girl, or a Jedi, we've got some 80s classics for you.
Do these movies stand the test of time? Are we discovering something new? Is there an 80s movie we're finally watching for the first time?
Join us each week as we dive into the cinematic nostalgia that inspired and influenced a generation. From the hits to the cult classics, we'll discuss our earliest memories, favorite scenes, fun facts, and our not-so-favorite movie moments too.
It's the All 80s Movies Podcast, now available on all major streaming platforms. Please subscribe and happy listening.
All right, we're back, and this is your final warning. There will be spoilers that lie ahead. Chad, for those who haven't seen EuroTrip since 2004, do you want to refresh people's memories?
Scotty Thomas graduates high school but discovers his girlfriend Fiona had been cheating on him. In a drunken stupor, he tells his German pen pal Mike to never contact him again, thinking his pen pal is a dude. It turns out Mike is really Mika, and Mika blocks Scotty from contacting her ever again. On an impulse, Scotty and his best friend Cooper get on a flight to London in order to make their way across Europe and win back Mika. First things first, the pair visits a local pub that's run by soccer hooligans who they somehow manage to befriend. Scotty and Cooper pass out drunk and wind up on a bus to France. They link up with the worst twins ever, Jamie and Jenny, while in Paris and plan their route to Berlin. On the way, they get their wallet and passport stolen and have to hitch a ride to Bratislava, thinking they're going to Berlin. Luckily, $1 and some change goes a long way in Eastern Europe, and they're able to get back on track to Germany. Unfortunately, Mika is away in Rome, and she'll only be there for about a day. The friends rush to Italy, where they must impersonate a tour group in order to get into the Vatican. Scotty accidentally impersonates the Pope and declares his love for Mika. Cooper finds out that Jenny is actually attractive, and Jamie becomes a new field guide touring all of Europe's museums. Back home, Scotty heads off to college, only to find that his new roommate is in fact Mika. I guess the admissions office thought she was a dude too.
All right. So, Brian, you mentioned right away that the credits get you into this one and get you rolling with this one. Let's go with this one. We got My Generation playing with a foreign cover of it. We have the brochure ad that you've got in your airline safety diagram in the back of your seat. Yeah, the diagrams of all the pictograms of people animated to doing either off color or funny things. There's one that would not play well with my wife where there's tons of vomit from these cartoon characters all over the place. I still think that stuff's hilarious personally, but
and it's great. It's hilarious, especially when they zoom out to like the traffic control tower and the dude's like it's like spraying across the ceiling.
Yes.
Like that's funny to me. The Epic Hack episode of Family Guy would be the closest thing that I could point to this as a I guess air quotes drinking game. Like the last one to vomits wins. But all of that is hilarious. The way that they execute the in-flight safety menu to get you into what kind of movie you're watching is really funny. And I loved it from the start. I was like, are y'all watching this? The closest thing I can actually give a real segment to in terms of what this movie did is the exit credits of Superbad.
Well,
I'll just leave it there.
Yeah. And then it doesn't take long before we get into action pretty quickly. It's graduation, and they lay it on quick right away. They don't take too long to hit a beat. He's dumped by what appears to be a cheating, no good girlfriend. She's pretty despicable. And
I'm just tired of all the lying and cheating. Honey, I've never cheated on you. That's what makes it so hard.
That's what makes it so hard. Good lines, good delivery. She's wonderfully dislikable in there. And then Jeffrey Tambor comes in as his dad and nails this wonderfully awkward moment, tone deaf to the complete thing. Like he's just got this big smile on his face and like he's crying. He's having a very
She's a keeper.
Right.
the still frame photo that they then show and take, like with his dad smiling like really big in a pose and his son's crying. Classic.
One of the things, and again, this is I can only say this because I don't have the opportunity to name all the things I love about this in the superlatives. His family is hysterical in this movie. Like the dad, the mom, the brother. Like the brother is just brutal. I love every part of his family in this film, and even the stuff that he really like earns is hilarious. So it's just, hey, why are you wearing my robe? Oh, I'm sorry. Somebody pissed on mine last night. And that's another great scene because you hear him peeing and he walks around the corner. You see the toilet the entire time. You see the toilet 100% of the time. He walks around the corner, stops, thinks about it, walks back and flushes the toilet. I mean, this is it is a comedically well set up film, and it's very like nits pieces, like nuts and bolts are great in this film.
My wife looked at me during that and I just went, we've all been there. Like,
yeah. I've got a story.
I believe you.
Its pacing is really good. Pacing is really good because it doesn't take long to get into it. The time in America, you guys are right. I could have enjoyed these characters plenty of more time, to be honest with you, because the whole, this mean girlfriend thing, they lay it on thick and quick, because then the concert, we get a Matt Damon performed Scotty Doesn't Know moment, which if there's an iconic moment of the film, it might be this of all things.
I did look up a couple things on this, and Matt Damon's cameo in this is on most lists as the most iconic cameo in a movie.
Yeah.
He was roommates, I believe, with the writers of the film, and he was already in Europe filming Brothers Grimm, and they were like, hey, do you want to do this? And he was like, let's go. And because he was already wearing a wig for most of his scenes in Grimm, he just shaved his head to do the Scotty Doesn't Know cameo in this, which is, I mean, I remember sitting in the theaters and being like, that's Matt Damon. And Jess is like, that is Matt Damon.
Yeah. I mean, his list before was pretty much all serious movies.
Oh yeah. I mean, this is,
Dogma.
Again, I'm not trying to like,
yeah, he did have Dogma, but he has Saving.
But I'm not trying to like nail this to a certain time, but I mean, if you saw Talented Mr. Ripley, Good Will Hunting, what was, he was still building up steam when this movie came out. This wasn't like a Matt Damon now jumping in on this. This was Matt Damon saying, hey, I've got some buddies making a funny movie. I have the opportunity to sing a punk song about sleeping with a dude's girlfriend, and literally the entire song is about making fun of him. And he's like, yeah, I'm game. Like, that's hysterical.
Well, he's done a great job when he goes on Saturday Night Live, and when you see him off screen, he's a really good storyteller. He's got a great, he's a interesting person, and he's funny. He's got good charisma, and so of course he has fun and nails this. And how much fun is it that he's in here? So again, we get to it right away. Scott's plans are ruined, and everything that he had, and he was so predictable. They lay that line on thick, but again, this movie is very aware of what it is. It's creating the framework to go to Europe, and I think they play with that too with his friend. The role of Cooper, played by Jacob Pitts. He gets him there by the mail courier thing. He gets him. He says he hardly tells anybody, including the people he's working for, and that becomes a running gag throughout this movie too. So,
and that, again, like, you want to talk about something that I've never seen another movie do in any way, shape, or form. Like, that's hysterical. He's like, "Oh no, sir, I'm down in filing right now." Like,
Yeah, I gave the file to Humphrey.
Yeah,
And then
and
later on,
I got his office and his job.
right later on, fired. Well, if that's what you really want. Oh, you got fired? No, Humphrey did.
And I got his job in his office. Like,
They space that joke out enough because when you first do it, you're like, once it's honestly funny enough, he probably is going to get fired quickly thereafter. But it's really funny. This seems like it's something out of Office Space, to be honest with you.
agreed.
Like it's something like, how much can you push it and still not get fired? And furthermore, he ends up getting promoted. So that's really funny to watch. And he's super horny. We have to have a guy like this who's driven to hook up. Like, he's almost like something straight taken out of American Pie, and he's put into here, and he wants to go to Europe and have crazy Euro sex. So,
Which he gets.
I love his
pretty
scene with Scotty, though, when Scotty's talking about Mike and how he loves Mike, and it's like, it's okay. I'm so glad you came out to me. It's like, no, Mike.
And don't worry about telling your parents. I think they already know.
They already know. Yeah.
It is great.
He does have good sarcasm delivery. This kind of reminded me of a similar typology of movie. It came out a little bit later than this, I think. Sex Drive. Clark Duke is a character in that sarcasm reminded me of like what Jacob Pitts is doing here.
He reminds me a lot of Jesse Eisenberg.
I can see that.
I can see that. Yeah, I can tell.
Except less annoying.
Oh, I love Jesse.
I like Jesse Eisenberg. So.
He towed a line there about 10 years ago of doing too much of the same thing.
Yeah, he shouldn't have been Lex Luthor, but I can't hold that against
him. But you had like Now You Can See Me and Zombieland, and don't get me wrong, I loved a lot of that, but he hit the exact same character in like 4 different genres all across the board, and I was like, oh, okay, all right, now we calm down. Now we time out. We stop letting you in this role.
I liked him in Social Network.
Yeah, I thought he was really good in Social Network. Zombieland was pretty awesome. I thought his catalog was diverse enough that surprises me to hear you coming after Jesse Eisenberg.
Is he different in those movies?
Yes, very.
I think he's quite different in Social Network and Zombieland, and say what you will about Man of Steel. If you're going to say we want a young Mark Zuckerberg type person to be Lex Luthor, like, who would that be in today's time? That's a reinvention of the part. I wouldn't do that with Lex Luthor, but given that they did it, I actually don't think he was. If you were making a list of things you would do differently in Man of Steel, I don't think Jesse Eisenberg actually was that bad of a Lex Luthor either. So
I really like the guy they got for the newest Superman movie.
Oh, he's really good. Nicholas Holt's really good.
Yeah.
All across the board, all of those movies is I am an arrogant Gilmore Girls talking guy. There's
fair,
very little subtlety between those parts.
Well, coming back
again, I don't disagree with him being placed in it. It's like he did one and it worked, and they said, oh, it would also work for this, and this. But I see very little subtlety in between the positions. So I was like, okay, I got you. You can do this. It's entertaining, but maybe not in 3 years.
So this movie doesn't take very long to get into it, and it's very funny while it does get into it, but eventually they do make their way over to Europe, as the movie would imply. Chad, once we're actually in Europe, we begin our trip in London. Do you love the trip that we're on, the road trip formula?
100%. I love the dinner map. I love the little pieces of food that represent each place we're going, the spaghetti or the crabs and all of that. I love just the belligerency of Manchester United fans. Like, I really enjoy that it's Man U fans. And I can't remember his name.
Vinnie Jones?
Yeah, he is just incredible. Sing the song.
Sing! I've never really watched soccer, to the consternation of some of my friends. But I will tell you this. Whenever anybody in the soccer community asks me, who do you root for? I have always unequivocally said Manchester United because of this movie. Like, I gotta say, like, 100%. I've never watched a non-Team USA World Cup soccer match in my life. I've watched Team USA soccer. I've never watched anything else in my life. And I still say, if you're not a mank, you're a wank.
Well, I think this movie right off the bat is going to play with stereotypes in a fun way. And it's one of those things where I don't think this movie gets made today, and all, sensibilities of humor have changed, but I'm so glad they're poking fun at the use of these stereotypes. They make these characters so larger than life. I mean, the soccer hooligans on Saturday Night Live that Mike Myers, I think Jim Brewer might've been the other one. I love these rowdy, soccer fans, because we have good fans of sports here in America that go too far and are really hardcore. Soccer fans are the next level. Like, soccer fans are crazy.
I want to get into it. Like, I feel like there's a place for me there. I can't.
Hunting down the dude in the French uniform.
I'm kind of small. I don't think
that man's wearing a frog football shirt. Let's give him a bloody good tossing.
I feel like Oklahoma City Thunder fans are slowly getting up there in hooligan status.
I would say the rest of the country just wants to beat on them.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I think Raiders fans, Philadelphia fans, nobody can compete with.
But they'll just flop.
Fans. I mean, like there's an element of danger in being a soccer fan that I don't think I have. I'm not cut out for it. I don't have the build. I'm 5'8" and I don't weigh a lot. I don't think I can. I don't think I belong in the soccer hooligan world, which is why I love the feeling of when they walk in this bar and they quickly realize, I'd like to leave. I don't belong here.
It is truly one of my
eyeballs.
Yeah. It's truly one of my favorite interviews with Nikola Jokic of the Denver Nuggets. They were like, hey, how do you feel about playing at this big stage, in the NBA Finals and the fans and whatever? And he goes, I've played in Europe. Are you kidding me? And it shoots to like his home court, and they've got smoke bombs going off in the audience and beer bottles being thrown. And just like, dude, we are PG. We're not even PG-13 compared to what their fans are in Europe. And it goes into soccer, I'm sure, much worse than basketball. So it is truly one of those things where I'm like, okay, I don't want to experience this on the wrong end because, like Russ said, I'm not built for true violence. But it does look like a lot of fun to at least experience in a people watching aspect.
No, y'all are degenerates. Like, just wear a Cowboys jersey in Philly and see what happens. They will throw batteries at your kid.
I think this is next level. I think that's like the preschool version of soccer hooliganry. But I love that they bring. Why do they go to the untimely reference of Sheena Easton's 9 to 5 morning train being the song that he, for some reason, breaks into? And you know what? It works. And
again, you want to talk about things that just creep into my head randomly. Like I'll be putting Avon's lunch together and Jess is like, what do you have going on today? And I said, my baby takes the morning. Like, this movie creeps up on me so much. This is one of the most segment line quoted films in my lexicon.
I'm so glad you got this when you did, Bryan, because the joy that you have on your face is how I feel when I watch a comedy movie. And it's like, I see it like you just like you're walking on air. You're really having a good time with this. And what I'm going to ask is, what happened, Bryan? Where did your joy go when you watch a movie? Because now that you're in your 40s, I think if you came to EuroTrip today and you weren't in college, I don't disagree. I don't know that 40-year-old Bryan is going to dig this movie.
No, this is the right mix of like traditional comedy. Like, there's some corny comedy in this, but I would say 9 out of 10 parts of this have that wrong, pseudo dark
walking the line.
Yeah. I still on my phone have the email warning that he has. That was my text tone for a really long time. Yeah. and somehow it ported over from my LG phone to my iPhone. So I still have that. I still have Scotty Doesn't Know as a ringtone. This movie would have hit. I think this movie would have hit with me anytime. I think this movie has even the robot scene is hysterical. Like you get to see the best in every single character in this film without one of them just getting played off as the Farva, which happens so many times in films where you just, you get the guy that everybody gets to make fun of. And they were really loading Jamie up to be that until the Netherlands scene, which is also really, really funny. So like, I felt like this movie didn't put any of the shame on any specific person. Like it at specific times I could kind of see Scotty being the How I Met Your Mother.
Ted.
Ted.
I thought of that.
The Ted character, but then you see instances where he shines, like with the robot scene, that just owning the Pope piece, like nobody in this film ends up just being the heel. And I really appreciated that about this film, where they at least gave every single member of the cast a minute to both rise and fall. And that's a fun thing, especially when you look at a character going into a brothel in the Netherlands and having a really bad sexual experience, especially with Xena Warrior Princess.
Yes.
Made it even better. I mean, I think this movie holds up especially well, because I don't think any part of this, outside of maybe the music, if you really wanted to nitpick, didn't age well. And in terms of actually pegging it into no pun intended, putting it into a certain time period. Even the use of 99 Red Balloons in its punk iteration was fun in this. I don't think I ever would have not liked this film.
The soundtrack, I don't know. I think it is fun that it is playing this globe-trotting. They get a lot of hits that you kind of know, like you said, you kind of as an American kind of know, but then they have this European sensibility, things that are in there. It's a really fun soundtrack. We just covered Varsity Blues recently, and the music is so deeply connected to the movies of this era. We're in the early 2000s. It's coming off that late 90s run, but these loaded up soundtracks with recognizable bands that the hits on I call it the America Pie model. This didn't create a lot of new songs to go by the soundtrack, but it was the movie plays songs and portions and these certain scene transitions, keeps the energy up. Obviously, I like this kind of music a lot, so it's making me happy. But a lot of other movies, we're not far off from going away from that by the time this rolls around, where they don't have words and stuff in the music as much, and it's more background oriented to just mood music. It's a distinct thing you have in the late 90s and early 2000s, where you have these intentional soundtracks that are a big part of the package deal. I like it. I wonder, like you said, does it feel dated to some people? But I think Andrew put it well when he said it just helps like if you watch a 70s movie and it's loaded with 70s stuff, what it does is it helps put you in a certain place in time. We are at a certain place in time in this movie, and I think that's going to hold up well.
I definitely miss having that type of energy and music in movies. Like it was just something that stood out to me as I watched this. I'm like, man, this just gets me pumped for the next scene. I really enjoy it. The one thing Frye did say about maybe it dating it is David Hasselhoff. Like that is a joke that people are going to be like, number one, they may not even know who he is. Number two, you're not going to know, oh yeah, he was randomly big in Germany around this time. And all of us knew because that was just something strange. Hey,
like he made huge name for himself in the U.S.
really
and then
do
Germany
like him
was
over
like Hasselhoff.
I know.
Right, yeah.
I did ask people in Germany, I was like, so like you guys like David Hasselhoff joking? Like, yes, he is cool. I'm like, I thought this was a joke that Norm Macdonald had on Saturday Night Live with this again confirms my theory that Germans love David Hasselhoff.
Oh yeah, it's
true.
And this is during a period of time where European, I guess, fandom really latched on to certain U.S. cultural pieces. This is during the time where Coolio moved to Italy, released like 5 albums in Europe, and was like a huge thing. Now, not that he wasn't huge in America after his first album release, but honestly, he took all the money after that, moved to Europe, and became even bigger over there than he ever was over here. So this was during a period of time where there were artists who found greater success in Europe than they did in the US. Like they were known for like a thing here, but they were known for much more over there because they really blew up over there based on, either their background or because that was sought after.
It wasn't, there is a reason not to dive into this, but it wasn't at the fall of the Berlin Wall, but it was just a couple weeks later. They had like a big New Year's celebration in Germany, and Hasselhoff sang, and the country was united again. So it could have been anybody necessarily singing. He was present and on stage at a very high profile moment for the country.
That's odd. Get the dude from Knight Rider.
Well, I've always said that 99 Red Balloons is the song that ended the Cold War.
Well,
like
that's a weird thing to always say.
That's
I'm saying that. No, I'm just
weekly
in a conversation about the fall of the Berlin Wall.
How often are you having this conversation?
I have history conversations with a lot of people, Chad. I would think you did too.
I have a little diagram of everybody on my street I've had this conversation with, and some people are nice.
But I bring music into a lot of my conversations on history, and I feel like 99 Red Balloons by Nina is a very pertinent piece of what happened in Germany during that time.
So the Amsterdam scene though is great. I like that we get pot brownies, and that they somebody such as myself thinks that they're having an amazing time. Like there's nothing in these brownies, and you have two fairly. I thought Jamie might have been funnier. They had to use him in other ways in the Amsterdam scene, but I really thought
he was essential in this other ways.
It's true. I really regretted him not being in the bar with them, thinking that he was tripping on the brownies. I thought just one more person.
Can we talk about the plate of brownies they ate? Like that was like a platter of frickin' brownies. Like that was a lot of brownies.
I love that once we know that she hasn't been on drugs, that she just goes and grabs somebody else's plate of food, and there's not much reaction either. Right. I like that a lot.
No, I just for anybody who's ever eaten a pot brownie, just chucking it out there. Half a brownie, 1 brownie. It's good. That's all you need. They house a plate.
They do it without milk.
Like it is I given the fact that they did not seem novices at drinking at the after school party and everything, like I find it very hard to believe that they found it advisable to eat what looked like in the ballpark of 10 brownies each.
I feel like Jenny was kind of a novice at drinking because she winds up making out with her own brother.
Well, that was on Absinthe, though.
Yeah, that was later.
I mean, that was on the Green Ferry. So, and we all agree that was BS.
They were the worst twins ever. It was a great... honestly, I didn't think that joke was paying off. You guys are the worst twins ever. And then later on in the movie, I'm just like, that's where this was going.
And it gets even better with the Frommer's Guide, where he's like, oh, here's a fun fact. You made out with your sister. Oh, yeah, it's just but again, going back to the plate of pot brownies, that's a lot of weed. If you think that those are pot brownies, you're in for a really bad time if you eat 10 of them. If you eat 5 of them, you're in for a bad time. If you eat 3, you're in for a bad time.
Well, you know who else was in for a bad time? Cooper. as he got in way over his head when he couldn't read his own safe word. And
Which
he
was
The Flugengenheimen?
syllables long, yeah.
You know, I know the joke was going to come that he was either going to lose the card or it was going to be in another language that he couldn't possibly pronounce, but I loved it anyway. I love these jokes. And there's something super
like Icelandic volcano name word.
It's almost like this Mel Brooks wonderful quality. He wouldn't make this joke because it's more off than that, but I'm just saying, like, you know it's coming. You've telegraphed it. And yet somehow when it comes to your house and you've unwrapped the envelope, it's still really funny because of the performance and the sight gags. And of course they take it up to a next level with like a robotic like cannon sex toy that has like prongs of like toys that are spinning and expanding, like and you get a great scream and the chiming monkey that's like the cutaway to the chiming monkey. Chad always likes the chiming monkey in a movie, by the way.
Yes, this is my reaction to that scene. It's that monkey is me.
I so love that they did this too, because they were going to go to the house of Anne Frank house on tour, and he was going to have like an awkward sex scene, and
I want that back.
And he was going to be exposed in front of the crowd, and they were going to have like one of the descendants of Anne Frank's family who was going to be like on tour, and when this got greenlit and produced, the producers said, let's not do the Anne Frank thing. So we got Xenia.
Why on earth would you think that I wouldn't still find this funny?
I was gonna say, you're taking this from good to great for Bryan.
I just feel like they had a lot of stuff in mind to make like what would be a generational comedy, and they went with most of it, and it's still really fun.
If you want to know more about it, Cooper goes to the secret room, which he believes to be like a sex dungeon thing, but the secret room is also a secret room of Anne Frank's tour, and that he ends up getting in some kind of encounter in the secret room, and he misidentifies it. I don't know. I really think the Club Vandersex is funny because he gets a free T-shirt to go with it afterwards too, which is a wonderful follow-up.
Scotty, Paris is like a suburb of Berlin. That's why they've always been allies.
We can swim there, yeah.
I love how confident Cooper is and wrong he is. Like at times, I just really enjoy. Like we could walk to it from there, or we could swim to it. Like he has like this nonchalant way. Like he has this like, and again, when he treats his job, Cooper just gets through life, and nothing bad seems to happen to him, and that's funny too.
I will say this: verbally, he's incorrect. Non-verbally, in terms of his assertions that you can get anywhere in Europe very quickly, he's actually really correct on that. They just choose to not avail themselves of any of the easy transit ways to get from point A to point B. Apparently,
the channel exists. Yeah.
And did you catch in the Vandersex Club that her Lucy Lawless, her male assistants' names are Hans and Gruber.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. So absolutely from Die Hard. This movie's great. Like it would have been great before. It's great now. It's great ever. This is a funny freaking movie.
This is the happiest I've ever seen Bryan on a show.
It is. Yeah.
And maybe it's because we crushed his spirit a little earlier this year with
the last time together the three of us were together. It wasn't under such happy terms. So.
He's healing right now.
Yes, this is your palate cleanser from Human Centipede 3, Bryan.
I do have comedies that I do like. I know it sounds weird for our audience because I've taken a crap on a lot of air quote comedic movies, but there are movies that really do make me laugh, and I think it's one of the things that I try to caveat whenever we talk about comedies, that it's not you, it's me. This is just what it takes.
Well, the Bratislava bit was shorter in terms of the stop. One note, we only have $1.80 between all of us because we get robbed, because, Jamie's happily gives up his wallet to a mugger while hooking up with a girl from a camera store, which is just great. Diedrich Bader's reactions to the whole thing was terrific. He's on screen for such a little tiny amount of time, and he's
very brief.
Good.
Very brief.
Yeah, but we go to Bratislava. They have no money, and $1.80 is like living it up. Somebody gets a nickel and like tells off
I-
his boss, I'm going to start my own hotel.
So interesting thing, and this is just something that ends up in the podcast because I'm here. The guy who says a nickel, I'll open my own hotel. He plays a integral character. It's actually David Doxhmalian's character in Dune, in the Sci-Fi Channel version of Dune. So it really awkward, weird segue. But I was like, hey, look. It's him.
Brian got his Dune reference in.
Pfeiffer de Vries.
It was good they made it in the summer, though, because Bratislava is really depressing in the winter.
Stop. Hammer time.
It's worth noting they found this place. It was like an air base, like this housing block that they got. They had to make it bad, though. It had been cleaned up and maintained. So
let's screw it up again.
They had to screw it up again for the movie, which I thought was humorous. It's like, of all the places you couldn't find, I thought it was also funny because this movie shot in Prague, almost entirely. Not all of it. There's like the nude beach was done in Germany.
Nowhere near Berlin.
They green screen in the skylines of the previous backgrounds, but you're right. This movie was done in Prague, and they had a hard time finding a house with like a conventional American suburban backyard, like to do this. Guy, he doesn't know like presentation there. So
I'll tell you this too. Again, I'm dancing around things that end up in my superlatives, but seriously, something that made me laugh out loud in theaters is the dog with the human hand in its mouth.
Yes.
I cracked up so like it was super random. Like it's a fairly serious moment in the movie because they've got the Eastern European pseudo-Soviet music playing in the background, and he's like, "We're in Eastern Europe," and you just have this dog with a human hand in its mouth, and I laughed out loud. I was the only person in theaters who laughed out loud, and it still cracks me up to this day.
So. One of the things that you mentioned, Chad, is between each of these stops, we get these wonderful little animations. We always see them traveling in between, which I always enjoy. Like the traveling itself is part of the adventure when going around Europe. They're on trains. They're on trains with creepy Italian guys who come in and invade their personal space. Fred Armisen is this wonderful creepy character. We get a call back. I think they knew they had lightning in a bottle there with him because they brought him back in when there was no reason to bring him back in necessarily. But I thought it was great. He got kicked out of the car and his pants were completely off and he had ridiculous like the ridiculous underwear underneath them. Fred is great at this. I mean, he does these kissing siblings and stuff and the kissing families. I mean, he has the ability to shake off shame and just totally go for making the other person uncomfortable and embarrass them. And it's a wonderful quality he has to, you said you like to go to the line. Well, Fred Armisen will take you right up to the line with all of these characters. With his big, creepy, wide-eye stares that he gives people. Yeah. And I love how there was a race in the train to get away from him that then Jamie lost.
Yeah, he's spanking Jamie.
It's not so subtle.
Me scusi. Again, this is one of those things. Jess and I will accidentally run into each other, and the first thing that either of us say is, "Me scusi."
Chad, I know you don't like having your personal space invaded, so I actually thought of you in Jamie's position on the train, thinking like, this is Chad's worst nightmare.
Yes, it is. I have been unfortunately sent back to the office for my work, and we have low cubicles instead of my old high cubicle. The person right beside me sings for like hours at a time, and I hate being next to her.
My baby
takes them.
And the dude right next to her is a gym bro who talks about how many gains he's getting from lifting all the time. My arms are bigger. I lift like nothing. And I just want
to getting swole, bro.
I could bench two of you,
Yeah. I'm just like, dude, I don't believe you. I just want to crush this kid's spirit. So yes, being in enclosed places, I I didn't go to the draft because that sounds like absolute hell being surrounded by this many people.
That's a lot of Steelers fans, Chad. I think for your own safety, walking around in a Dallas Cowboy hat or whatever, So
Oh, what do the Steelers have to be proud of? What are they going to do? We've got Aaron Rodgers. Yeah, you do.
we do, and he's the best quarterback we've had for a while. Unfortunately,
6'7".
Yeah. Anyway, back to something that makes me happy. This movie. So,
It makes me happy when you're unhappy.
you mentioned that Michelle Trachtenberg is in this movie, and she is dogged on throughout this movie for being a boy or being, hello, I'm a girl, and you're sitting there going like, I don't know how believable that is. However, it is funny that he doesn't realize it until it's one of those things that's telegraphed from a long way. I actually thought where my head was this was going to go. I thought Scott was going to end up with Michelle Trachtenberg's character Jenny, and not get with the girl. I figured he was going to go all the way through this trip and realize the person for me was with me the whole time. I think that's a good idea for a movie, but they didn't go that direction.
I was happy with the Cooper piece on this, mainly because he's the one who reinforces you're just a cool guy that hangs out with us, and it really starts in that train station where she's like bent over trying to soda out, and he's like, oh dang, and he's like, oh Jenny, I thought you were like a girl.
I'll be honest with you, I really didn't follow Michelle Trachtenberg because I hadn't seen this movie, but I hadn't seen Michelle Trachtenberg since Pete and Pete and Harriet the Spy. So this was kind of an interesting. There's a big gap in time.
Yeah,
I didn't really watch a lot of Buffy, to be honest with you.
Oh, okay.
I was
like, wow,
it was great.
Yeah. But anyway, so there's a gap in time for me. So it was one of those things. It's just like, oh wow, this person I only think of them as, it's like if you see Macaulay Culkin as an adult with facial hair, it's kind of weird, like because he's just always forever Kevin.
That's a bad.
Yeah, I don't. This does not compute.
It's been weird for a while with Culkin.
I'm just saying this felt kind of like, wow, this is not. I didn't expect her to be in a role of this nature. So,
I mean, she said that's kind of what she wanted. She was 18 when this movie was shot, and she's like, it's kind of time to show off what I've got and to break away from Harriet the Spy, or she was on Pete and Pete, as you mentioned, but she was kind of growing up as Dawn in Buffy.
Yeah.
And that ended in 2003. So this was 2004. It was right after, she's trying to spread her wings.
Sometimes these things seem abrupt after a while. I mean, I was older than the age to take in Hannah Montana, but I'm sure anybody who saw Hannah Montana turn into Miley Cyrus, I don't know how slowly or abruptly it was for people, but at a certain point, it seemed quite jarring, I'm sure. So.
I feel like, that's far more traumatic than what Michelle's doing here. Like, Michelle brought her mom on this trip. Her mom is there on the set with her doing all this stuff. So she's talked about that beach scene was an actual thing. Like, she just said there were a bunch of gross dudes chasing her. I did kind of appreciate, like, okay, we do have some female nudity, a decent amount.
But that was Game of Thrones, South Park level.
But we have a lot of male nudity. Like, they balance the scales quite a bit.
One scene covered all of the penis quotient.
This is the bad male nudity that my wife specifically points
this out. Is there good male nudity?
I mean, nobody looks like Chris Hemsworth, so yeah.
My wife points this out as when male nudity ends up in movies, it's so often done in a way that it is like the Farva and Super Troopers kind of moment where it's just like, I didn't need that, or something like that. So, I mean, like, she's just like, if all female nudity were Kathy Bates getting into a hot tub and about Schmidt, then you would feel differently about it too. So.
This is one of the really kind of hidden pertinent things that they put into South Park. Butters brings up that, like, well, how come every time they put male nudity in Game of Thrones, it's always a flaccid wiener? I mean, is it because it's non-threatening? I guess it has to be, because it's always just a flaccid wiener. It's never an erect wiener. So
There's
It's-
no way
but-
you can have those guys with erections chasing.
Oh yeah,
Michelle
but
Trachtenberg.
again, like you're talking about the same level of nudity, but you're
Yeah.
taking it up a notch.
You might have hit Brian's change one thing. More erections.
No, it did not even. I'm just pointing out that it's been satirized that now that we're talking about it, it's like, hey, if you're gonna have male nudity, which is not a beautiful thing ever, it's it's got to be this because it's the least objectionable option.
That actually makes me wonder, and this is going to be a wonderful thing to edit later on, but can you show an erection in an R-rated movie? Like, can you actually show that?
I don't know.
I
It's a
don't
good
think-
question.
I can't remember a movie. The last thing I can remember is like Willem Dafoe in Antichrist, which they had to get a stunt double because they called his penis confusingly large.
Hey man, if there's gonna be a
I
stat
feel like
on
that's
a
a,
movie,
that's a publicist thing. You know, it's just like
if there's a stat on a movie, that's
right in the reason. He
Yeah.
was too large. The camera couldn't. They didn't have an angle lens wide enough to capture everything.
I want that on my tombstone. Like if I were Willem Dafoe,
I know.
confusingly large. It's just
confusion.
it's the confusing that just gets me every time.
Fantastic.
Jacob Pitts enjoyed these scenes where they stripped down between sets. He would continue to be more naked than he had to be, and invade people's personal spaces. And
He
make people
seems like
uncomfortable.
the kind of guy.
He had fun with his nudity, making other people uncomfortable. So there you go.
Yeah, there's something you can't do now.
Right.
I didn't say that anything Me Too-y happened. I just think he.
No, I mean by
I
all-
don't think you can just roll naked around the set
Yeah.
anymore either.
I think they said it was actually cold on the beach, and you're not going to like this, Brian. But people had to huddle together, blankets, and the beach scene was apparently cold that day. So there's
It
that.
explains that one old guy in the very end of the procession.
Other fun things. Fun fact: if I don't say that, if I don't say that episode, I lost. They couldn't get any red cups either here, so they had to import them from America for the back scene.
I want to toss this out there too. I've been to numerous convenience stores all across Europe, and I'm telling you, like they don't operate the same way we do. And I don't mean that as like a John Madden comment. I mean, really, like, hey, I want a tube of chapstick. It's not something that really exists in some countries in Europe. It is not weird to not find red Solo cups. The things that we take for granted in terms of like, this is a prop that you need to use. I don't mean take for granted as like, hey, I need a cheap plastic cup. I mean, that's kind of a hallmark of Europe. Like, no, you buy a porcelain cup when you go to a grocery store. But it is weird going in and trying to find certain accoutrement to your life that you think should just be like a no duh thing. And they're like, not only do we not have that, we don't really know what you're talking about.
It occurs to me late in the set here, they go to the Vatican. This is the climax of the movie where they have to catch Misha at the last moment. They end up going and accidentally becoming the Pope in a very Leslie Nielsen Naked Gun sort of way. I mean, Chad, you and I covered Rat Race early in the show's going, and I remember a cigarette lighter going into John Lovitz's mouth and shoe polish being on his lip and accidentally sounding like Adolf Hitler as he's burned his tongue or whatever. Here we have the most ridiculous thing of a curtain rod falling down on this guy at the wrong time and walking out onto the wrong balcony, and everybody thinks he's the Pope. And of course, Cooper ends up ringing the Pope.
Yeah, the Pope is dead, Bell.
Yeah, the Pope is dead, Bill. Somehow this felt Naked Gun like. This didn't feel like it fit the tone of the rest of the movie for me. However, it's still funny.
I got Rat Race vibes too off of this. Like that John Lovitz scene, they just build one step after another, and then he crashes into the World War II veterans and starts doing the Heil Hitler like thing to.
Oh my God, the kid.
Yes,
kid,
the
like
kid in the
when-
background
gosh,
when they're in
when I
Berlin.
saw this in theaters, I was like, I was in tears. I was like chewing on something, trying not to laugh out loud at how funny that was because
goose stepping.
there was like a low. This is 2004. People weren't ready yet to laugh at hardcore off-color humor, and I was in a theater of people who were not finding that funny, and I was like, from the second of the magic marker mustache to Cooper desperately trying to get Scotty to see the kid doing the goose step behind him, and I'm literally in tears, and I can feel Jess, like, she has her hand on my thigh, like, easy there, and I'm just like.
I love the end credit of like it's a producer or director or somebody coaching the kid how to goose step.
Yes. But did you find a kid actor you finally liked here? Because I know when we covered Cabaret, you didn't get enough Nazis in it, and maybe this movie came through for you.
I enjoyed both of the kids, like the younger brother when he's
the younger brother, and this is great.
I take German 101. That's not
You're
my
not
kid.
even-
And he's rewinding the videotape to play it again, and he says a lot of words that we can't say here. I love Jeffrey Tambor's reaction to "Where's this brother?" If I know.
And that's great. Like, you want to talk about latchkey in a time where latchkey really wasn't used for our generation the
Not
way
really
it
us.
was
Yeah, that was really
for the previous one. These parents have no idea where their children are, to such a degree that they're in Europe gallivanting, drinking, whatever. And it's funny because Scotty, being the predictable one, they're like, oh yeah, I think he's with Cooper. Where's the younger brother? Bleeped if I know.
Yeah,
Like,
Scotty's camping.
Yeah.
So where's our second one?
Yeah.
I really like that Jamie, who gets picked on for being a nerd throughout this, even though he does hook up for his awesome camera, he's the hero. He sells his camera, he saves his friends, and yet he runs a tour and he's really good at it. And his power of being a nerd and loving what he does serves him. And of course, his hero, the tour guide, finds him, and now he gets to have probably the best job in the world, writing those tour guides of going and traveling the world and seeing these sites. I mean, I like that Jamie comes out of this okay. I like that his friends also said, like, this is the greatest thing. That's good for you.
For you.
So I have been Jamie so many times in my life, and you even compared me to Jamie earlier on. So yes, if you went to Europe to me with all the places that we named, I probably am dorking out over the architecture every step of the way. And
no turning off the commentary track from Russell.
Well, you also you have the strong protagonist being Scotty forcing the trip basically over top of his friends. So there's actually a point that you could make in this film that his insistence on not being predictable Scotty is really overloading other people's lives, except that really everybody gets what they want in the end of this film, which makes it okay. So
you know what? I didn't want Fiona to come out of this okay. I wanted something bad to happen to her, or just to
I'm
be
sure she has syphilis
jealous
or something
of Mika or something. You know? Exactly. Something in the post credits where like she just like
I'll tell you something I did.
gonorrhea.
I'll tell you something I didn't notice the first time or earlier times I've watched this movie, and I really thought the second guy to come out from under the stage with Matt Damon and Fiona was Mark Hoppus. And I looked it up. It's not him, but it looks like him. I really thought it was.
Wanted to look like Blink-182 at the time.
Well, yeah, and I get that. It's not him. Just to be very clear. But on the rewatch for the podcast, I was like, "Holy crap, is that Mark Hoppus?" And I never noticed it. It really does look like him.
There was a song in this that where they were gallivanting around Plastic Bertrand, the Ça Plaine pour moi. I'd seen this in a commercial. I never knew what that song was, and now that it was in this movie, I could look it up and be like, "Oh yeah, that's that kind of punk song that was on like one of these travel log kind of like ads." I was like, that always was in my head. I was like, I like that song, but it was from before the time where you had Shazam on your phone, where you could like figure out the song.
Right.
It used to be these songs would just haunt you. I don't have these anymore. But when watching this movie, I had that little magical moment where you're like, that's that's one of those songs that got in my ear a decade ago or 20 years ago. And what is that song? That's really rewarding when you have those moments. Again, your iPhone takes this away from you to where you don't have those little moments of like, oh, I've wondered what that song was for years, and now I know what it is. It's a little joy that I think people have lost. That's really, really magical when you discover a song like that.
I miss having arguments where one person is clearly wrong and you can't just look it up on the phone.
Oh,
You just have to deal with it instead of somebody getting out their phone and like, well, actually.
As someone who deals in a lot of obscure facts, I love the fact that I can rub people's noses immediately in the fact that they're wrong. Now, but I hear you. There's a personal victory in knowing you're right without the instant gratification, but I still do like the instant gratification.
It's just the instant fact checking. I like the Wild West of just some guy making up his tall tales, and you just are like, that's probably not true, but I'll never know.
It's completely changed the way male interaction has gone for forever. I mean, people could spend an hour just debating, which years Larry Bird won those 3 MVP seasons or whatever. Like, was it 82 or like, and they'll argue
to the library.
Yeah, exactly.
No.
So, I mean,
it never ended in the library.
It never ended in the library.
You've now taken 2 hours of conversation and condensed it into 20 seconds. I mean, that's going to change the world. So there you go.
And I want to say another thing that I really appreciated about this soundtrack specifically is, unlike American Pie and a lot of the contemporaries that you would show this movie as a peer of, this movie really sought to educate the music palette, not dictate or placate to whatever's popular at the given moment. And I really appreciated that about this film.
Well, I think that you've held this movie up as underappreciated, but this didn't necessarily help their careers out afterwards. As you mentioned, there are three friends: Alan Berg, David Mandel, and Jeff Schaffer. Jeff Schaffer is listed as the director, which apparently the Directors Guild, is going to make you not have a trio of people as the director, even though it was a collaborative effort. So because the Directors Guild dictates it this way, they put their names in a hat, and it happened to be Jeff Schaffer was the director, but David Mandel and Alan Berg are creators of this, and they got together. They were writing, doctoring up a script. I think it was for Cat in the Hat. Oh
no.
Yeah, well, I knew you would. And then the directors, they said there's a low benchmark for what it takes to direct a comedy. So they decided to write their own, and they said, why not? Why can't we be directors? And that why not us kind of mentality led to this movie being what came there. I really thought, and this is where you're not going to be happy, Frye. I thought this was a bad spinoff. Like, hey, do you remember these American Pie movies that would come out, like The Naked Mile, or like,
yes,
only Eugene Levy would be in it. Like,
I'm gonna railroad one of my superlatives here, but my change one thing is the title of this film.
Yeah,
well, it was going to be Ugly Americans. Was the name of it?
But this fell under a long list of trip movies, and even when you texted me, it was like, oh, it's a road trip, and I was like, it has nothing to do with any of those films. It's a comedy, and it has trip in the name. That's the only.
It is of the same similar template to Road Trip, so I can see why they wanted to piggyback on this one. I think what got this movie maybe in trouble, like you said, was it seemed like a non-star powered cheap. We're doing Road Trip, but none of the original cast is coming back, and I think that was my assessment of it. Oh, I love Road Trip, but wait, that weird looking guy's not in it, and Bracken Meyer's not in it, and we don't have Tom Green, and nobody's back. And so I guess we're just doing this with different people now. It's kind of like after How I Met Your Mother, they did How I Met Your Father. It didn't work. Like you can't or like when they did that 70s show, they did that 80s show. It doesn't work. And so, right or wrong, that was my assumption of this. Even after you had recommended it to me, I thought this was a lower budget than it actually is. And the cover of the movie doesn't help you out a lot. And the other thing that doesn't help you, the biggest stars in this movie, I'm not just talking about Matt Damon, Fred Armisen, Diedrich Bader. They're all Lucy Lawless. I mean, there's a lot of big name ensemble help here, but your main four, Michelle Trachtenberg has name recognition, but this movie didn't have the star power to say, we're going to get in there to see Jason Biggs, or we're going to get in there to see Sean William Scott.
I would argue that this movie was before its time, because now in the realm of streaming services where people can go out and make people a big deal based on the fact that you're willing to watch something with unknown folks in it because there's so much content out there that actually works and is good. It didn't work as well in the early 2000s, and that's unfortunate because I really do think the cast kills it in this film. This is not the B-level American Pie Spring Break 4. This isn't that level of crew. This is a well-produced, well thought out, well written, and well acted film. And it fell into a weird crevice of fatigue on this titled National Lampoon's type movie, like I already said. And then the fact that because we're at the end of a string of American Pie, other kind of comedies, people weren't as willing to go out on a limb to see folks that they don't know in a movie that they think is rehashed. And one of the things I've really appreciated, especially now, given that our generation has more access and better, frankly, control on how to use Instagram and other avenues of social media, I hear a lot of commentary on folks being like, hey, remember that time Matt Damon did this cameo? Remember how freaking funny this movie was that nobody remembers? And I'm like, thank God there's a couple more of me out there bearing the torch of a film that really got underappreciated. And it's still, like, you talk about IMDb's rating on it. Like, that is a very unfair rating for how funny this film is.
I mean, it wasn't the kind of movie that was going to get good critic love. None of these movies that we were comparing it to. It's not like critics got excited for Road Trip. It's not like critics got excited for The Girl Next Door, or there were a lot of these movies. I'm saying this more and more, and it scares me. This is a type of movie that's gone. That raunchy high school or college comedy where hijinks ensue, and it's not just the Me Too movement. It's not just being more woke.
We've lost the Euphorias of the world, which is want to talk about cringe.
If you want to get into it, this movie technically lost money in the theaters, and it made its money back through DVD sales, through TV, through means. It was profitable with its global market and everything. Movies aren't getting made where that is the model anymore. There are no DVDs making up the delta for you. There's no rental store that's going to get your back. There's no Comedy Central playing your movie with commercials and stuff on TV to get your back. So unfortunately, this type of movie, which people do love, Brian, to your point, it's a cult classic. I would call it that. The people who love it. And it maybe hasn't grown to the point where it's a huge, big cult, but the people who love it. And I think it's really sad that this is a type of movie with the current way the box office goes. You're not going to get a lot more of this. And that's bad for people who like romantic comedies. That's bad for people who like those teen movies that we covered with Varsity Blues. And it's bad if you like raunchy comedies. These are gone. And I'm sad because I like them. So
I wouldn't even, I understand that they probably overstepped the line on nudity and certain aspects of it. But if there was ever a movie I was going to go to bat on of placating a certain few scenes to get that the audience that wants that for the sake of making a fairly intelligent comedy that just happens to have that too for the commercialism, this would be that film.
Well, what do you say we hand out some superlatives? We've talked a lot of the things we do love about this movie. Let's get into some awards.
Let's go.
I'm going to kick this one to you first, Chad. Who is your MVP of EuroTrip?
I like Jacob Pitts, Cooper Harris. He makes me laugh so much. His humor is fantastic.
This isn't where I park my car.
This is definitely where I park my
I
car.
again, one of the quotes that I say on a daily basis, like, I actually said it in Call of Duty the other day. I ended up in a firefight that I had no business in. I was like, this isn't where I park my car.
Yeah, it's a shame he didn't wind up spinning out more movies from this, because I think he just did a great job.
I want to say this is where you mentioned, Brian, this movie's well written. I think it is, because I actually, as we get into these supposed, I am not in love with any of our main four people. This is an ensemble movie that thrives on teamwork and cameos. It's not, I'm Eddie Murphy, hop on my back, I'm going to carry you. Or there's no Bill Murray to be the shining star of this movie, and that's okay. It doesn't have to with what it is, but I could imagine a lot of these main roles being played by other people and still working. Having said that, the people who are in them work fine, but I found myself wanting that role to go to the guy who plays Randall in Clerks, but he's too old, unfortunately, by the time this rolls around. But his sarcasm and sharp tongue in Clerks struck me as somebody who would be an amazing Cooper. I could see him saying, "This is where I park my car."
He just, like, I really can't put more emphasis on the fact that when I saw this movie in theaters, he reminded me so much of a young David Spade in the fact that David Spade was doing so many complementary roles to a primary, like his interaction, like it just, like, that's what struck me the most seeing it the first time.
It's fascinating that you're losing two people in two different directions, because Russell finds David Spade very funny.
I love David Spade.
And I find David Spade not funny at all.
I'm not comparing their comedy. I'm pseudo comparing their appearance and their role.
Yeah.
In terms of their comedy.
It's just funny. Like, you couldn't have picked a more polarizing person.
If this gets made just even a little bit later, I think T.J. Miller would play this part.
Yeah.
Quite well as well. I could see him sarcastically, like, digging into his friends and stuff like that, or also being frustrated that why am I not the one getting hooked up with here?
And then that makes this movie feel so much worse later on. So let's not put T.J. Miller in anything.
In another great way that he plays off the dialogue from this is where he's like, "This is Mika. She's a female." He goes, "Oh, well, you definitely should have done that. It seems completely contrary given our information now." Like, the pivot is great.
Brian, who was your MVP?
Scotty Doesn't Know. The song, the band, the cameo. I mean, I know that they did not intend that to be the staple. They wanted it to be a recurring theme in the film, but not the staple that is remembered from the film. But Matt Damon's cameo just crushes this in it's truly agreed upon on a lot of different sites as one of the best cameos in history, and it's hilarious. The song, the cameo, the fact that it keeps coming up, the Euro trash version of it, they come up in a club.
Yes.
I mean,
why does this sound so familiar?
It's great. So the MVP of the film is Scotty Doesn't Know.
I had heard that song for years, and I just didn't connect what it went to.
Man.
Until I watched it here. So
I love the fact that Scott admits, he's like, it's really catchy.
Yeah, he's kind of catchy.
It nailed the pop punk sound of the time. So I mean, it had actually the sound of a hit at the time. So whoever, I think
Lustra was the band that.
Yeah, Lustra. So credit to them for just throwing a movie on a soundtrack. Scotty didn't know. All right.
Scotty did not know.
This is weird to say. So the real MVP of this is probably Alan Berg, David Mandel, and Jeff Schaffer. The trio of people who wrote this, because like I said, there are parts and they have seats, and they could be played by so many different people, and it still really works, which is a sign of really good writing and good directing, that they allowed to find the comedy within here. It's well paced and well cut and well edited. If I had to say, he's just a cameo. Vinnie Jones will be one of the things that I most remember from the movie. He is outstanding, and the angry soccer hooligan thing, popping bottle caps with his eyes, and smashing a a gin bottle on his head, waking up and being on the bus with these scary people, like, and then also singing 9 to 5, just because it's got Manchester. He's not even a Manchester fan in real life, but it's great. I love what he does here. So it's more of a hidden gem, but I kind of have to elevate it. He's so good.
I'm not sure if I'm not sure if I've ever seen a movie that I didn't like him in.
Shout out to Vinnie Jones.
The outtakes of him just swearing in different manners while the guy beside him is trying not to lose.
Yeah. So there's actually a thing. I don't know if I saw it on YouTube or somewhere else, where the bus driver of the double-decker bus sat there for something like 3 or 4 hours while Jones just spat out random crap at the passing car. Air quotes, the passing cars, to get takes of what they're going to use for the film. I would have volunteered to be the bus driver just to be there for that. It's hysterical.
I mean, I love how belligerent he is. Hey, he's got a frog football uniform. Get him! And
it's like puts on his brass knuckles. Give him a really good tossing.
Get that Nancy.
He hates the Italians. I'm Swiss.
Yeah.
Yeah. They save the day at the end, which is a great callback. So I just love this character. He's so much fun. Best supporting actor. There's a lot to choose from here. Chad.
She shares my birthday, so Michelle Trachtenberg. I think she just brings so much fun to the group. She is the star power, for better or worse, when it comes to this movie. I honestly could have hung out with Jenny longer and seen more of her adventures. I feel like she has the least fun part of the journey. It's more male focused, but I did really enjoy the scene she gets.
They make sure not to put her as much. There's the nude beach scene, but she's not the butt of the joke very much. Bryan, who is your supporting actor?
I actually went Cooper for my supporting, although I don't have my notes on why. I feel like we've talked a lot about how vital Cooper was in this film.
Sound more decisive. Sound more decisive.
Well, his execution on lines is really great. I like how nothing phases him. How any turn of the wheel is just like, this is completely doable. Like everything in Europe's close to each other. It's fine. Like every part of it is placating to Scotty's worry. And he's really a Neil Patrick Harris character in How I Met Your Mother. Yeah, he's very much a Barney character too. Like everything is doable. Like this is not something to worry about whatsoever.
You pulled out Josh Radnor as being a good Scotty. Well, Neil Patrick Harris and the Barney is true. The mold is holding true for this. So
I actually have I've got a couple recasts that I really like, and I feel like it would add really not much to the film outside of the fact that it would be hilarious.
All right, my best supporting goes to Lucy Lawless as Madame Vandersex. First of all, she's a mannequin. First of all, she's beautiful. Second of all, it's Xena, warrior princess. So she's tough in a sex club that turns into a dungeon. So she is therefore intimidating. The joke works just by virtue of casting. She commits to it. She actually says, I'm as suburban as can be. In real life, I'm not really this tough bad girl. So she likes playing these parts. They clearly come to her, but she's very good at it. Small role, very memorable. One of the best scenes in the movie that I will always remember. And she's a big part of. She's very funny and beautiful, and it works. So, hidden gem. A lot to choose from here.
Oh, yeah.
For all the reasons that you just listed, I had to get Xena, Lucy Lawless. Yeah. I love her in everything she's in. She's great in the Ash versus Evil Dead. So really enjoyed that. The goofy accent, like she's clearly not even trying for a correct accent. And it adds to the charm.
Some people call this offensive, but I think some of these things are so American. Like Fred Armisen is not Italian.
Right.
But the fact that he's pursuing ridiculous version of Italian is funny. Like I don't think it's mean. I maybe I'm out of old fashioned, but I think that all that stuff is funny. Playing those things that you are not.
And I'll tell you, at least they're trying, man. And I didn't say a bad thing about it when we talked about Three Musketeers, but you're all French, man. At least give it a swing, guys.
They did not. There were no swings taken. So, Frye, hidden gem.
I won't go more into it. It's Lucy Lawless. Like we can't talk about Matt Damon the whole time. So the back end part of gosh, again, I didn't mean to do it again. The other side of it is Lucy Lawless. So I'll just piggyback on Chad's piece and be done.
All right. Well,
I can't. I can't.
All right. So
bring in the Flugelgeheimen.
Great scene. My hidden gem. I did pick Matt Damon because it is iconic. You're right. We can't keep giving him credit.
So lazy.
It's lazy. You know what? I'm going to be more. I said I liked him earlier. Jeffrey Tambor as the uncredited dad in this movie. He is so good. First of all, he's great in a lot of things. Like he's great in Muppets from Space. He's great in like anything he gets into. A little bit of Jeffrey Tambor is going to go a long way. And he's so good as the dopey.
The Hangover.
Yeah, The Hangover. He's just great. So,
in fact, I think he's made to be the dad who's probably super suburban with that dark streak that he's just like Vegas.
So great dad role. I'm a little sad that he disappeared so dismissively. It's funny that he doesn't return and doesn't care and doesn't notice that his son has disappeared off to Europe when he's supposed to be working with him in summer. However, I just wanted more of him, the younger brother in that family. So
the younger brother.
I mean, recast. If you had to recast somebody and put somebody else in their place, I did mention there's a lot of other people you could put into these seats and have it work. Who are you going after, Chad?
It's time to hurt Russell's feelings, so I'm going after Fred Armisen as creepy Italian guy.
He's so good at being creepy, though.
He is. He does a good job. But I think for a change of pace, I would like Sacha Baron Cohen. I kind of imagine the Borat role in.
Yeah, it's good.
So, yeah.
Oh yeah, he's gonna do it too. He's probably gonna dial it up a few notches, and he's probably gonna show more skill.
Not wear underwear.
Yeah.
You're getting like even more male backside.
Yeah, the Borat thong that goes over his shoulders there. Yeah,
there's gonna be some sausage in that.
I can see why you got on that train of thinking for sure. He would have a field day with that
train again. Yeah.
All right. Bryan, recast.
I've got two on this that I think would have been really awesome, just especially since we're talking cameos in a movie that has some notable cameos. Jeremy Irons as Mika's dad.
Oh my gosh.
I think would have been really cool.
That's a place where we needed somebody. Yeah.
Like I would have loved to see Jeremy Irons as Mika's dad. And then the second one is because Scotty's dad has got this presence. I would have loved to see Deborah Jo Supp as the mom.
Oh yeah. Kitty from that
70s show being
yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So again, these are drops in the bucket. They're not big parts, but can you imagine Kitty holding it? Yeah, giving the thumbs. I think those would have been the funny little add-ons.
She has big expressions. Yeah, she's great.
All right, I like that. I had a couple listings of like I said, I kept having these alternate castings of like I could see other people in these things, and it might even elevate who shows up to the movie. There's nothing wrong with anybody in this movie because I enjoy it, but Travis Wester as Jamie is who I'm coming after. He's nerdy, but he's not he's pretty fit for like I mean, I felt like the punchline of like, oh, he's cooking up before me. I'm like, Jamie's just really enthusiastic about stuff. Like he doesn't actually come off as like dopey, nerdy and stuff like that. So it's really a shame that Christopher Mintz-Plasse, who's Mechlowicz, as people know him as, is a little too young to play this role because it's really the line of thinking that I wanted to go on for Jamie coming into here.
Can I give?
Go ahead.
I'd love to give another incredible compliment to this film, and maybe it was the fact that they used actors that were more credibly their age than other teen movies, just in terms of their visage. One of the things that always bothers me in teen movies is when they get 26, 27, 30 year olds to play these teenagers. They're wildly older than the people they're playing. I don't know how old each of these actors and actresses were when they played these parts, but they look like they're in high school. Like it's more so than seeing Scott Conn in Varsity Blues, where you're like, dude, you're trending upward. I mean, you're not 18 in any way, shape, or form. And 18, maybe 19, if you got held back, is the ceiling for high school. So, like, I appreciated the fact they actually got young people. And until I saw Superbad, I don't know if I really felt like I saw high school portrayed like high school very appropriately until this or that.
It's getting closer. You're right. It's not like dead on accurate. Michelle Trachtenberg is a little bit younger. Travis Wester.
She's 18 in this movie.
Yeah. So again, like, this is during a time where people used a lot of 25 plus year olds to play high schoolers. And although we all accepted it in its way, it was obvious that they weren't high schoolers.
Dawson's Creek.
Yeah, Dawson's Creek is a great example. So I appreciated in this film, at least I felt like I was watching high schoolers do something risky. It's not like watching a 30-something play a high schooler doing something risky. It's a different headspace.
My casting's going to go 3 years older, though. And so I did want to get a nerdy guy. So he's played the role, and he's played an enthusiastic nerdy guy. I went with Simon Helberg, who's Howard Wolowitz from Big Bang Theory, as the role of Jamie. I think he would have killed this. And now it doesn't mean you're going to get Wolowitz directly. If you watch him in interviews, he's actually very talented. He does a ton of great voices. I have a feeling he would deliver a great supporting character who's nerdy and not just be Howard Wolowitz, as I say that. So
yeah, he is very naturally funny, so he doesn't have to play that character. He's been in several other movies.
Now, if I told you I wanted to put more butts in the seat, I think Justin Long's a bigger name at the time. I don't know if he was doing the Apple commercials at that point, and he'd done Accepted probably somewhere in this era as well. Scott Mechlowicz, like, that's not somebody who's
Eddie K. Thomas.
But I thought Justin Long in the lead role would have been a great choice.
That's fair. Yeah.
And if I wanted to put more butts in the seats, I think she's young in her career. She certainly hasn't done Frozen or anything like that. I thought Kristin Bell did the great job in like fan.
Oh yeah.
And like if she got the Michelle Trachtenberg role, right. I thought that would have been great too. So like I said, there's nothing bad about any of these people. I just kept the writing's good, so I kept imagining all these wonderful people who could just step in and kill this.
She would have been coming off of Veronica Mars.
Yeah. All right, best shot, Chad.
I've frequently used the illustration of a toy monkey banging cymbals, and the shot of this monkey with that ridiculous expression as Cooper is screaming in the background, just the grin and the cymbals. I'm like, yes, that is me. That is my scene. Russell was just, it'll be edited out of here, but he was just saying, I can't believe you haven't brought up this monkey. I was saving it for this point. That is my thing. The monkey and the cymbals, that is me.
That is your thing, and I'm so glad that you picked that. I even saw that. I get happier when I see a monkey with cymbals because it reminds me of how much you enjoy a monkey with cymbals, Chad.
What an odd thing for
every time I throw a monkey bomb in Call of Duty, I think of this movie.
All right, Bryan, best shot.
It is the fisherman statue of was it Poitinier?
Oh,
he was trying to convince them to go there, and they were like, "Nah, we're gonna go to this nude beach," which ended up being a sausage fest. Yep. And the statue ended up being with all the girls. It's the shot again. I don't mean this vulgarly, but it's the shot up with like two topless girls with the statue after they realize their mistake. Is one of the funniest like pro Jamie parts of the film.
Yeah, you're right. I like that Jamie had his moment there.
Yeah.
Actually, Chad, you took mine. That was literally my best shot of the movie because it was the great cap to the end of that. But along with Brian, I'm going to piggyback on yours because the scene that goes just before that, all these old dudes in the distance is an aerial shot of them chasing after exactly creepy zombie like old men that chase after her in a wave of old man flesh. Yeah,
it is a lot of flesh. There's a lot of dong there. And it's funny on rewatch of the film, I forgot just how much penis is really in that scene.
Same.
It's extensive.
And the old man in the back really sells this shot because he's just really behind everybody else. And so, what a particularly one old fat dude in the back who just can't keep up with.
And he's trying so hard too. He's like,
yeah. So I guess I'll pick that as my best shot, seeing as I want to be different. So, best scene, Chad.
It is the Vatican mix-up. I mean, it's very, to me, Rat Race-esque of where it's building on itself, ringing the bell, and then accidentally catching the Pope hat on fire and then tossing it into the fireplace.
The curtain rod in his hand.
Yeah, the Pope is dead. And then, oh, white smoke, we've got a new Pope. And then he shows up in the curtain rod, and everyone's like, oh, yeah, he's just masterful. Love it.
All right. How about you, Brian? What's your best scene?
This is probably going to go the longest in terms of screen minutes of any of my favorite scenes, but it's them walking into the the Feisty Goat bar to them parting ways with the soccer hooligans who have gone off to beat the crap out of the one French guy wearing a soccer uniform. Like, that entire segment is some of the funniest stuff in this film, and it really sets up their experience in Europe, and I love that.
I love it. Well, my baby takes the morning train. He works from 9 to 5, and then he takes another home. Sorry, he takes another home again. I gotta go with the
pretty dang good, lads.
I gotta go with this hooligan scene. I told you, Vinnie Jones is probably my MVP of this movie. I will remember this soccer hooligan scene in a big way. Like, I love everything about the hooligans.
I can't just sit on it there though. Like, them waking up on an open top double-decker bus, and then that sequence into them driving into Paris, yelling at the cars. You're driving on the wrong side. Like, every part of the soccer hooligans' existence in the first part of this film is it counts as a continuous piece. I love every part of it.
I wrote down on my phone very early on that, like, the graduation scene very early on, this might be my favorite scene, and it could have been, and it's probably my runner-up. But when the hooligans come in, it's it's great.
Rewind it. Play it again, Bert.
All right. Best wardrobe or makeup moment, Chad?
It is Cooper's suit in the club, and it's because of the fun story with Michelle Trachtenberg. She's wearing that really kind of tiny silver, I'll call it a shirt, but it's like tied together with the
it's held on with tape.
Well, she had a drink and she's supposed to throw it at Cooper, and they said, we only have 2 of these suits. Basically, you've got to get this shot correct. But she had a wardrobe malfunction, and she said she was very quick to catch her shirt as it broke, but she messed up the shot, and so they had to get it right the very next shot because they didn't have any more suits. So just for that scene, I think that's fun.
Brian,
yeah, but I mean, if a nickel can buy a hotel in Bratislava, they should be able to get a couple more suits.
Yeah.
Gotta love that exchange rate.
Brian, how about you? Best wardrobe or makeup moment?
The Pope hat.
Nice.
I mean, who can't go touchdown Pope hat?
All right. I'm going to be one note on this one, but Lucy Lawless as Madame Vandersex, when you meet her, when you meet her, she's got this really cool, like burgundy, like overcoat thing that's really cool looking. And she's got like that high ponytail thing, but I don't think you see this hairstyle a lot with like the one Laura Croft piece sticking out I'm a big fan of that. And then I don't think I have to explain the red glossy vinyl dress thing that has like, like one black.
I'm learning a lot about Russell tonight.
Yeah.
I was going to say, explain in detail. What's your safe word, Russell?
Tall boots,
Flugengenheimen.
tall glossy boots. Yes, all of this was good. Garters. I don't have to explain it in detail. You can go.
I don't have to explain anything to you.
There's nothing to explain.
I believe the young people call this gooning.
Oh, Chad. All right. Change one thing.
What's your favorite Metallica album?
Change one thing, Chad.
So, of all the European hijinks, I kind of get let down by Jenny and Scott's, the fake pot brownies. Like, either give them the real thing or do another bit, but having them freak out with nothing.
Just so much weed.
No good reason.
I loved that they were. This is where I wanted Jamie, though. I wanted Jamie to think that he was tripping out.
I'd be more okay with that. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Brian, how about you? Change one thing.
So my first and foremost is the title. And I literally stewed over what I would call this movie for hours and didn't come up with something that I felt was suitable. But I do feel like EuroTrip followed along in a cadre of movies that had already done something, and it did the film that they actually put out a disservice to have people look at it and be like, I've seen a bunch of those. I don't need to see this one too. So that's my first and foremost. But I'll say on a secondary piece, I really have never liked the cover art for this movie.
No,
it's the insistence on trying to put out some Michelle Trachtenberg cleavage. And honestly, that doesn't do service to this film, which is a very clever film in and of itself. You don't need the sexualization. You're already going to have boobs. You're already going to have penis. Like there's stuff in this film that are already going, if somebody sees it, they're going to tell other people. So I felt like the cover art for the film, the general one that you'll see, it was frankly beneath it. I thought it was better than this.
I thought about the same thing. For all the creative artistry they have in the transitions, like put something like that on the cover.
Oh, 100%. They could have made this, if they leaned into what they used for the intro of the film with the seat back, this movie is very clever. Sure, they added some ham into it because people like ham, but the bones of this movie are very, very clever. And I just felt like the title and the cover art, really the promotional for this film is the worst. Like it earns the 6.6 it gets on IMDb just because of how it presented itself, not what it actually showed the audience.
That's another good reason. Yeah, I like what you're saying there. So if I had to change one thing, I would like a montage with just some more stops along the way. You don't have to dig in there, but wouldn't it be fun to just stop in Sweden? Pick up some of these other countries that we don't get to see as much in there. What if you go too far and you go to Russia and you made a misturn? So just go full out Scooby-Doo, doors in the hallway, going in and out. Like somebody gets separated and maybe somebody ends up going to one direction, the other people get going to this other direction, they have to meet again. It gets you a chance to see more. Now, granted, I didn't realize this movie was all shot in Prague, so clearly there's a budget that they have.
Where's the beef?
I wish they had more money so that they could go on locations and make all these places look awesome. When we covered Roman Holiday, we were immersed in the Vatican, and it was a lot of fun. When we cover some of these movies where we actually get to go on site, it really adds something. So they were clever with the money they had, and it's not that kind of movie. But if we're actually going to go on a Euro trip, maybe you kind of want to go to Europe and appreciate being immersed into each of these countries. So that's mine. More places, more real shots. Best quote, Chad.
Frye kind of paraphrased mine earlier, but I'm going to do the full quote. I told her to keep her hands off my genitals. Well, given what we know now, that seems like the exact opposite of what you want.
That's pretty good. Brian, how about you? What's your quote of the movie.
I'm going to try to do this justice, but I even rehearsed it a few times and I still screwed it up. So I tell the swamp donkey to suck it before I give her a trunky in the tradesman's entrance and have her lick me eyeballs.
You guys curse on another level.
Yeah, he's like, you guys are on a completely different level of cursing than we are. I don't know what any of that means, by the way. I didn't put it into a British
gibberish.
Soccer hooligan lexicon thing, but I mean, it sounds pretty devastating.
Yeah, Cecil.
If I had to pick a best line in the movie, it's probably, "This isn't where I parked my car." So again, they lay it on thick. The joke goes exactly where you expect it's going to go, and it's still funny for doing so. Although it's not really a quote, but I do like the gag of like, "Oh, my robot balls, error, error, error." I don't know.
It's a great random scene. Like the robot is a great random scene.
It seems like the kind of thing that would meet the cutting room floor, but I'm kind of glad they kept it in there. I love that there was the guy playing the Asian stringed instrument who's watching and he gets him the kind of string. It doesn't feel like it's out of this movie. It feels like it's a moment of Kung Pao Enter the Fist, which I love. Kung Pao Enter the Fist, and it goes really hammy here. We don't get necessarily a big name actor in the part of the robot, but he's pretty awesome in his own right. So the makeup, if Lucy Lawless hadn't been in this movie, robot guy would have been my best wardrobe and makeup moment for sure. So, all right, we've come full circle, and on a 5-star scale with half-star intervals, Chad, what are you giving EuroTrip?
I'm giving it 5 stars. I mean, is it a 5-star movie? Probably not. Definitely not. But do I enjoy it and will I keep watching it over and over? Yep.
All right. So, Brian, I'm excited. You're tough to get into that 5-star level. This is a big moment. Drum roll. Are you going to go with your usual, typical Bryan Frye 4, or are you gonna go 5?
It's a 4.5. It's a special occasion. He's so happy.
No, this is seriously one of my favorite comedies of all time. I love it. I will die on this hill. It's a 5-star movie for me. Like Chad said, is it a 5-star movie? Probably not. But rewatchability, this movie holds up. Like, there's not a whole lot in this movie that doesn't like really stand the test of time. I mean, sure, a Leica M7 isn't going to be used over a smartphone now, but there's not a whole lot of points that you'll, go to and say, oh, that's not a thing anymore, or, that really dates it. So I feel like the comedy holds up. I think that especially for a Gen Z crowd or even an alpha crowd coming into it, knowing a much more elder statesman, Matt Damon, this actually could be funnier to them than it was to us coming off of like a Good Will Hunting or even a Bourne Identity. So they could see, someone they're used to being, what call it Liam Neeson or De Niro was to us. This is something that could be even funnier to them, seeing him do this kind of cameo. So I just feel like this movie really does hold up, and outside of a couple things that they probably cheesed up a little bit for commercialization, there's really not a whole lot I have to criticize.
That's a high endorsement. He's hard to get a 5-star out of, and he breaks it out. I wrote down 4 at the start of this episode, but this movie has something that's
a comedy
really special.
guy.
No, hold on a minute now. In this conversation, this movie has that thing that can elevate any comedy movie to the next level, where you talked about it with your friends and you all have a good time. It's quotable. It's something you're going to want to go back to. I don't have the benefit of having watched this for 20 years like you guys have been doing. So I'm going to give it a 4.5. But one of the things that I discovered in watching this with you guys talking about it is it's well paced. It's got a lot of great moments, and there's an authenticity. Alan Berg, David Mandel, and Jeff Schaffer, they based this on like stories that they had of their travels and stories that they had collected themselves. And somehow they tie it in together. It's well written, as I said. So with maybe a slightly better casting to get it more attention, to become more of a cultural phenom with a different title, as you might have mentioned, and a different cover, this deserved better than it got. I have jumped on your ship, Frye, of this movie is underrated. So I'm going to give it a 4.5, but I love it. It's great. I had fun time.
I'm truly hoping that Dustin and anybody else on the year-end countdown hasn't seen it, because I'm really interested in hearing multiple people who haven't seen it before, because I do think that this was an easy movie to miss, despite my decrying it from the mountaintops. Not everybody has a me who's like, out there with the poster saying, have you seen this movie? So I'm interested to see other people's reactions to it.
All right. Well, let's pick a movie for next week. Chad, you want to help me out here?
Yeah. So we have traveled all over Europe, but next week it's time to get patriotic. We're going to cover a movie with a slice of Americana. So option number 1, 1776 from 1972. A musical retelling of the American Revolution's political struggle in the Continental Congress to declare independence. Option 2, Yankee Doodle Dandy from 1942. The life of the renowned musical composer, playwright, actor, dancer, and singer, George M. Cohan. Or option 3, Mr. Smith Goes to Washington from 1939. A naive youth leader is appointed to fill a vacancy in the U.S. Senate. His idealistic plans promptly collide with corruption at home and subterfuge from his hero in Washington, but he tries to forge ahead, despite attacks on his character. Russell, how are we celebrating America?
Well, I can't get the 76ers out of my head for beating the Boston Celtics this year, so I'm going to go with 1776. Here's to you, Philadelphia.
No, don't taint our movie with Philly stink. Oh, I'm already in a bad enough mood. My Spurs just lost again, but hopefully they punched enough OKC players to.
You added Mr. Smith Goes to Washington on this list, and I'm sitting here going like, there's no way I'm ever picking this movie with this list. This wasn't on the list. So I look bad for my choices right now. Like, I hear people on the headphones going like, what? Why did you make that selection? So anyway, Mr. Smith does not go to Washington. All right. 1776 it is.
All right. Not the robot chicken episode that Bryan.
I literally almost sent this. I didn't want to like mess up your thing. It ain't accurate, but it'll blow your fucking mind.
Yep.
It is truly one of my favorite Robot Chicken sketches, though. From the creators of 300 comes 1776. Hancock now.
Well, Bryan, you are after my year end of superlatives for favorite dealer's choices right now. You're serving me foods that I like.
You're competing with Human Centipede 3.
That's feeding me things that I don't want to be fed, which is generally the theme of those movies. So, right now, Bryan's a little bit ahead.
I have truly had this on a list of dealer's choice options for a really long time. And I thought we would get to it organically, but it just kept not happening. And so I was like, fine.
It's time to make it
I'll
happen.
do it myself.
Yeah. Well, I'm so glad you did. And I'm glad we had the panel we did. It was a lot of fun to do with you guys. So thank you so much.
Yeah.
Cheers, man.
Thank you, all the lords, ladies, and knights of the Retro Movie Roundtable. We invite you to reach out to us. We want to hear from you. So subscribe, rate, and review us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you get your podcast. Give us a like on Facebook. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter at @movie_retro. And email us at retromovieroundtable@yahoo.com. Producing and providing this podcast is fun, but not free. So we invite you to support our show at our Patreon page at www.patreon.com/Retro Movie Roundtable. Remember, all contributions are much appreciated and always go towards making the show better for you, the listeners. As always, thank you for listening. Be good to each other and watch more movies. Bryan?
This uniform is really cramping my Olsen twins. Lance, can I get a drink for Mary Kate and Ashley?